Briarpatch Youth Services is an organization that serves youth and their families. Our mission is to strengthen the lives of youth and families. We provide services for youth experiencing homelessness, youth who have run away and left home, youth who are involved in the justice system, youth who are part of marginalized communities who are needing support. We're a little different than other organizations in that we're not a community center with a gym and a basketball. We really are providing very specific services that oftentimes can't be found in other parts of Dane County. Our service area is all of Dane County. We have youth here every day. Sometimes they're here for support groups. Sometimes they're here to access our shelter, which serves young people between the ages of 12 to 17. We do a lot of mentorship, guidance, and care for youth and their families, ultimately with the goal of supporting our mission of strengthening the lives of youth and families. We have an amazing group of staff members here. There's about 35 full-time staff members and a number of part-time staff members, and they're the most dedicated, passionate, joyful people to work with. As you can imagine, we work with very difficult situations: homelessness, young people who have left home, young people who have been through the justice system. So we see a lot of really hard things. And our staff does a beautiful job of lifting up one another, supporting one another, walking alongside youth, and also, the best we can, bringing joy into the workplace, which is part of the reason that we're here celebrating with the open house today. In the summertime, we have a youth arts festival. We try to balance joy and pain, which is a part of life, and also model that for our youth who are going through a lot of things these days. Youth today are navigating a lot of complexities. Being a teen in and of itself is a difficult time in one's life. But when you add on social media, pandemic, war, all these things, and constant access to information, it can become very challenging. And then we add on community violence and other things, other factors. I think youth are under a tremendous amount of stress. They need a lot of support and counseling, and we're there to help them. Many youth feel like their identities are under attack, so who they are is not accepted by their communities and in some cases families. All these things are creating a very hard situation for young people. And we just try to let people know that they are listened to, they're cared for. We try to walk alongside them. We help them navigate systems. But I think youth today are going through a hard time, and as a community, we need to really acknowledge and uphold that. And I believe we are, but I think every person needs to understand that it's not an easy time to be a young person. We do have a helpline, and that is a great entry point. Oftentimes through the helpline, they can direct you to the right service. Oftentimes that's the starting point also for a shelter intake. Different programs have different outcomes. So I guess I'll give a couple examples. One example is our parent support program. So through that program, we work with parents who are having their own struggles, oftentimes, with a young person in their home, but maybe in their own life, and they're all related, right? So a positive outcome would be a family feeling like they've navigated a hardship and are able to be together, live together, walk together in a more peaceful way, right? In a more healthy and healed way. So that's definitely one outcome we're going for. With regards to shelter, we are just dealing with a young person doesn't have a safe place to sleep. A positive outcome is they're sleeping, they're being fed, they're going to school. It's not a permanent solution, and we recognize that. But during that time that they're with us, we are working for a more permanent solution, and we have counselors who are working very closely with the young person to get them into a permanent solution. For our program, for example, our restorative justice programming, if a young person in Dane County gets a ticket, they have the option to go through programming with us. And after weeks and weeks of programming, which involves conversations with adults, a circle healing process where people will come together in a circle and do a restorative process with a talking piece and talk about harm done and what happened, a young person can get their record expunged for going through that. So that's an outcome. Ultimately, we're trying to reduce the pathway that many young people have into the prison system. We don't want that. So these are the types of outcomes that we have. In some cases, like shelter, they're just dealing with an immediate need. In other cases, we're trying to prevent a future issue from taking place by doing healing-centered work now. The staff are great, and they have really good ideas on how we can best support youth. My job as the executive director is to help them implement those ideas. Donations are one of the ways, financial, that we can, if someone says, we should do this, I can say yes, because we have the dollars to do it. So go to our website, briarpatch.org. You can donate there. We would be really grateful for your support. Additionally, I have to mention that November is National Homelessness Awareness Month. I would say one thing that people can do to help is to read up on homelessness, learn about it. I know that we see, we may pass someone on the street and immediately have an opinion, but do we understand all the factors that contribute to homelessness? The housing crisis, what happened since with evictions and the pandemic. There's a lot to learn, and I think we just need to see people. We need to see homelessness. It's very hidden oftentimes, and I think just raising our awareness, our empathy, and our compassion is a big thing that people can do. I want to extend gratitude to Fitchburg. We just became Fitchburg residents back in November, so after changing our addresses and all that stuff, I've felt very welcomed by Fitchburg. The mayor, Julia Radafrada, has been here and visited and has been a great partner. And I just want to share gratitude to the community for the support of Briarpatch and for taking the time to understand what we do.